it's very easy to quit. It's very easy to go down that dark road. It's very easy to say, and like worst case scenario, you're thinking about, finding a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Life is gonna throw some hits, but it's like a roller coaster. Every down comes with an up, and you just gotta be ready.
Let's go! Quit! Beyond! Measure!
Nice. Hey, what? Hey, man, you're a wild dude, man. Welcome back to Grit Beyond Measure. I'm your host, Frank J. And today I got one of my close friends, pretty much my brother from a different mother, man, Hot Rod. But as always, I don't like to introduce my guests. I would like my guests to introduce themselves. So, Hot Rod, over to you, man. Introduce yourself, man. What can you tell us about you when you strip away all the titles?
Sure. So I did 20 years in the Navy, retired back in 22. I've been retired now for a little bit over 4 years. Started doing real estate during that time. I did SkillBridge. Pretty fortunate to be able to do that program and learn how to do real estate. And life has been good.
Nice.
So grew up in Pennsylvania, father of 2 kids, and just, doing the everyday struggle everyone has. You know what I mean?
Got you, man. Go Eagles, right?
Go Birds.
Let's go Birds. Let's go. Too easy. Well, Norm, here's the deal, man. My show is all about adversity, resilience, that grit, things we go through, how were we during that season, during that storm, what came out of that? How did it change us? Whether it made us sharper or whatever it may be. And then, how are we giving back? We're here to share that same story. So, going into it, what was that difficult season like in your life at that time? And then, how did everything start to transition from that point on?
Sure. I know that we kind of went through this. So one of my hardest times was like around 2014, 2015. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Actually, you were there for a lot of
We
it.
lived through it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. We lived through it.
Yeah,
Fact.
we lived through it. So I was going through a divorce. So I was doing that. I was also going through some health issues. I had some back issues. So I was put on limb while I was in the Navy. So I had to get special orders. That came with its own struggles and everything. So I kind of went through a tough time in my life, right? You know how they always say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Amen. Facts.
So I was dealing with a lot, some mental health stuff, right? Because that put me in such a low place. But I had my support system. I had you. I had my family. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I had my girlfriend too. She was very, very, very supportive. And then I had to keep in mind that like my kids came first. You know what I'm saying? So that whole time frame kind of put a damper on my Navy career. But I knew it wasn't over. I knew that, I had about 5 years left to hit my 20. That kind of slowed me down in the progression that I wanted to be in.
Right.
But it still kept me going. You know what I'm saying? So, that was pretty tough. That was a pretty tough time. But I learned a lot about that. And the thing is about life is there's always going to be tough times, right? I know that we wanted to talk about this situation and all that, and we can still talk about it. But right now, what a lot of people don't know is I'm actually going through a really tough time right now. And I know that you can relate because I was there for your tough time when it comes to your mom and everything like that. But like today, so my mom, a lot of people don't know, my mom has stage 4 melanoma. So she
sorry to hear, man.
She has cancer and everything like that. And it wasn't until like a couple hours ago before jumping on this call here, I found out the doctor said, we're going to stop treatment, right?
Man, sorry to hear.
So I'm going through that right now. But at the end of the day, what brings me a lot of peace, and a lot of people don't realize this, and probably why I don't look, it's bothering me. It's in my head. I'm thinking about it constantly. But one of the things that brings me peace is my mom herself, right? So she's very much at peace. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of brings up a lot of things. Like it for me, it makes me realize if she's strong and dealing through that, going through that, knowing that her time is limited, you know what I'm saying? It brings me peace, right? So,
Right. Wow.
yeah, and I know I
Yeah.
didn't want to talk about that, but I know that like I just
Yeah.
talked about having a good support system.
Yeah. It really takes me back to my situation when you supported me, man. My mom was going through
Exactly.
the same thing, man. So yeah, I'm just honestly, man, this is like live. I'm just man, this is a lot. Make me drop a tear in this joint,
Yeah,
man.
I didn't mean to. No, we'll keep it
Nah,
light. We'll keep it light. But
no, it's real, man. Because you came on here to talk about some adversity from years ago, which was, was compacting, man. It was compounding. He's going through divorce, man. You were missing your kids. Your kids were at a distance from you. You were dealing with the Navy, because I remember you wanted to go on all deployments, man. And then, you went to medical. They was like, nope, got back issues, back problems. And it felt like the command wasn't really supporting it. I'm a boot chief trying to figure my life out and stuff like that. So at that time, you were really going through a lot of different things, man. And it was all coming at once. So to talk about that, and then like, holy craps, a few hours ago, man, I got the call, which is remind me of the same call I got from Dr. Wu years ago, man. And you got to sit down on it. You sit down on it, and it's like you said, it makes you think. And the reality of it, when we finish with this set, you're still thinking about it in a subconscious sense, because it's still hitting you. It's like the reality check and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I get it, man. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, I still have her.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, like, what I never realized is, like, when we talk about grief, we talk about grief when you lose that somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I've been grieving since day one, right? As soon as we got the call and it was like, hey, they did the biopsy and they're like, hey, unfortunately, it's stage 4 from the get go. So
Right.
that was a moment. That's when the whole grieving processing started. And yeah, it's been wild. It's been pretty wild during that whole change. During that whole thing, I also changed brokerages, right? So
Right.
I don't work at the same brokerage I used to work at. You know what I'm saying? So life still goes on, right? You still got to do what you got to do. And the best thing to do is stay positive. And one of the things that I saw in one of your reels, is funny because I always talk about it, is you shouldn't worry about the things you can't control. So I can't control my mom's health. She can't control it. No one can control it right now. So there's nothing I could do. So it's like, what's the point of worrying about it? You know what I'm saying? Like your emotions are still going to be there and you're going to be thinking about all that stuff. But at the same time, like the only thing I can do right now is be positive for her, be positive for my family, for my sisters, for my dad, my kids, and that being positive shows a lot of strength.
Man, amen. Hot Rod, whatever you need from me, I'm here for you, man, hands down. And yeah, this is real, man. Wow, let's keep rolling, man.
It's funny. I wanted to start this being positive. Hey, let's joke. Let's go back. Let's go back in the day. But which we still can. I'm not.
We can. I mean, we've
Yeah.
You and I have probably one of the most dynamic relationships, man. Because we speak the real, we laugh and we joke about it. And the one thing I've always liked about you, man, from day one of meeting you, is that you can turn real situations into some laughter, man. And just like this now, we kind of laugh, and not necessarily about the situation, but just laughter in the moment, because we feel that same synergy, man. So yeah, man. So going back to, the adversity that you went through, dealing with the divorce and the kids and stuff like that, dealing with the medical issues, the back, not being able to deploy when you really wanted to deploy and get out there. Like you said, you still have 5 years left and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I maneuver with this? What was out of all those elements, was there a worse challenge in that time frame? Like, was it the divorce the worst, or dealing with the back pain the worst, or dealing with I can't deploy the worst, or were they all kind of like in series with each other or running parallel?
I don't know how the best way to explain that, but I think they were kind of all even, right? So once I got done with one thing, something else came up, right? So I got done with the surgery, the back surgery, you know what I'm saying? I had to, like, at the time, like, I'm having to compete with other peers in my group, but I can't perform in that at that level because I'm having back issues and stuff like that. So I get put on limited duty, so I can't even do the things that I wanted to. So it reflects, it reflected in my evaluations and stuff like that. But that was out of my control, right? I couldn't do anything about it. I could just make the best out of it. One of the things that, in regards to my career, one thing that I did try to focus on is the junior guys, right? Just because I'm going through this situation doesn't mean like I can't do something to help somebody else's career out. So I learned a lot during those years. I mentored a lot of junior sailors. To this day, it's funny. I look back.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys were third classes, second classes at the time. Now they're master chiefs and stuff.
I got my daughter face. Oh my goodness!
Tell her I said hi.
I will, man. Man, I gotta put the joke on Do Not Disturb. Man, that's gonna be live on the air. They're gonna be like, "Yo, what you doing? Frank, what are you doing, man? Oh man, this is crazy, man." Oh snap! She called me right back, and she upstairs, man. Oh man, too easy, man. All right.
Is everything good?
Yeah, she does it every night, man. This is my 3-year-old,
Okay,
man.
okay.
She
Yeah.
She like to sneak out of bed, so she'll FaceTime me. I'm hungry. I'm like, I ain't hungry, man. You trying to sneak downstairs and get us both in trouble.
Yeah,
Man.
my kids are the same way. My daughter's 12 and she'll wake up. I'm like, bedtime's at 9. Let's go to bed. Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth. And I'm like,
Right. It's a
can I
wrap,
brush my
man.
teeth real quick? I'm like, you just want to be up.
Man,
Yeah.
this stuff is too funny, man. So let me ask you this, man. So, from a physical or mental standpoint, while you were going through this, which was harder? Was it the physical element of it, the back problems, or was it the mental issue that you were dealing with, like with inside? Because, like you said, bro, I don't know.
Hello?
Watch this, man, because I'm gonna have to. Daddy's recording. I can't talk to you right now. Yeah, but can we eat the sandwich in a few minutes? I'm recording right now. I can't do the sandwich right now. Yeah, I'll do it. Give me a second, okay? I'll come do it. Yes. Okay. Bye. Oh my goodness, man. This phone going.
That's too cute, man. That's too cute. That's funny.
Yo, all this is getting deleted, man. That's gonna be the.
No, you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it for the bloopers. Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna use that for the B-roll, man.
yeah. You gotta make a reel for that. That's gold.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be golden. All because of you, Hot Rod, man. Oh man, let's do it, man. All right, man. So just moving along. With everything happening at once, man. Have you ever felt like just completely throwing a towel in, man?
Of course, I think it always feels like it's easier to just give up, right? It feels easier at the time, but when you look at it, and that's one of the things that I had to stop and think, like, even during that time, I was like, let me just get my ticket, get medically separated, and be out.
Yeah.
I thought about that several times, you know what I'm saying? And I for whatever reason, I ended up not doing that. That wasn't the decision I ended up going. I wanted to finish. At that point, it was like, okay, what are my options and everything? But to kind of answer your question, you were asking, was it the physical or was it more the mental?
Right.
I think the mental part was a lot harder than the physical.
Yeah.
Especially after I got my surgery, I was a lot better going through physical therapy, and all that. So it was, for me, that was kind of out the way, but all the other stuff is still going on. Divorce,
Right.
no one ever wins in divorce, right?
Right.
So
100%. Yeah.
so for me, that was kind of like, I got to deal with this other problem, right? And that other problem comes with even more issues, because after we split up, she moved away. So I was in Virginia, she had moved down to Florida, and so she took the kids, and that was really tough. So even after I had my physical stuff out the way, my career stuff, I was like, hey, it's in God's hands. Let's just kind of go let's see where this takes me, right? But we're still gonna keep progressing. Even after all that, you can't, like, at the end of the day, you still have to, like, I miss my kids. I didn't have them.
Absolutely,
I miss
man.
years.
Right.
Like my daughter, I didn't see her walk. I wasn't there for her first steps. I wasn't there
Right.
for her first words. I wasn't there when, she started teething, and, all these little milestones I missed. And a lot of it had to do with that. And part of it did also have to do with me being under contract and being in the military and having to focus on that stuff too. So, it was a lot of battling. So at the time, quitting didn't mean like I was quitting 100%.
Right.
It also kind of meant that I was thinking about leaving just so I can be closer to the kids, right?
So
Moving.
Right. So let me ask you this then: what would like, because I remember the time very vividly. So I'm trying to put this in a way that makes sense. So in that time frame, like, who were you? Because you wasn't the person you are right now. Like, you was deep, man, in that situation. So what kind of, like, person were you during that time?
That's a good question. I was a little bit of everything. Now, I'm not the person who I am also, because I have 10 years, because that happened like 10, 11 years ago, right?
Yep.
So I have way more life experience, right? At the time I was, in my mid 30s. Now I'm like, or early 30s. I'm in my early 40s now. So it's completely different. Life is kind of like, my kids were young.
Right.
My son's about to graduate high school next year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It like blows my mind when I think about stuff like that. Like,
Man, yeah.
I sneeze, and I joke about it, because when I was younger, I would hear these people. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? Like, you blink and you're old. And now I'm older, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, fact, man.
Like, where did time go?
The question was, while you were in the middle of this season, while you was going through this storm, like, what type of person were you? You know what I mean? Like, what was your mentality? Like, how were you moving day to day? Advice the person you are today.
So at the time, I had to do a lot of things to distract me. I think that was my number one thing. Whether it was focusing on my job, whether it's going out with friends, going out to, like, just kind of disassociate from all that stuff at the time, which I don't always recommend. That's the best thing, right? But I feel like you got to face your problems head on now. But at the time, I just kind of felt easier to just disassociate, right? So my kids weren't there. So I was going out, I was going, just kind of interacting. I was more social than I am now. Now my social part is my job, right? So
Right.
so right now it's a whole different shift. And I think because of that, I think I can be a little bit more social, and being in a career like real estate, where I do customer service. I interact with people all the time.
Right. So during that season, pretty much when everything was going on, you used the distractions to kind of keep your mind from drifting down, the dark side, as I call it, man. So, but in that skill set of the distractions, your social side of you grew a little bit, which is kind of ironic in itself, because it grew in a sense that you use those social skills now as a realtor to do your job, which, you can't make that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make that up. And that's why, it's very important that we had these conversations, because although, it was a hard time, it wasn't the best of your life, you walked away with something positive at the end that you was able to use and stuff like that. So, it's never always negative. It is in the moment, but it's not always negative at the end and stuff like that. So looking back at it now, what lessons did you get from it? Just kind of in series what you just said.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. The reason why I say that, because just now when you were talking about that, I was thinking about, I always say in life, there's no wins and losses, just wins and lessons. The only loss is the one lesson that you didn't learn from. You know what I'm saying? If you're constantly making that same mistake over and over again, that's the loss, right? But you gotta take the punches. You gotta like live life and then be able to turn something negative and turn it positive. That's something I try to explain and teach my kids every single day.
Right. So give me some examples of that. Like as far as like today, like the lessons you learned from that, like what are some of the lessons you learned and how did it shape you today?
So the biggest one is just that, like, I try to live life a lot more positive. One of the things I try to do, always look at the glass half full. And it's cliche. I know I try to look at the silver lining and everything, right? But it's true. Like, especially like right now in my job is to help people sell their homes or buy a home, right? Every single time we go under contract or we go in a transaction, both parties want to have the best deal, right? And you kind of have to kind of mitigate that. You know what I'm saying? We may not be able to get everything you want over here, and this person may not be able to get everything you want. But one of the things I've learned is to make something like when you have two conflicting people, find a win-win situation for everybody.
Yep.
I think that what I used for work in that sense, I learned in life through like my struggles. Like it's funny because like I didn't have my kids back then, right? So a lot of people don't know this, but I have primary custody of the kids now. One of the things and it's not like by choice or anything, it just kind of fell out that way. It just kind of fell that way, right? So I think that being able to shift like those negatives and turning them into positives, I think that's my biggest lesson. That's what I use. I used that every single day.
Amen. But here's the deal. For someone who's going to go through exactly what you've gone through, divorce, you got an impeding medical issue that can deeply impact your career. You still want to fight for your career. You still want to fight, the ability to see your kids. What do you share with them at this moment? Because if someone's going through it, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It happens all the time. Don't look so much into the now, right? It's very easy to quit. It's very easy to go down that dark road. It's very easy to say, and like the worst case scenario, you're thinking about, finding a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Life is going to throw some hits, but it's like a roller coaster. Every down comes with an up. And you just got to be ready. You got to I don't know about you. I like roller coasters.
Remember that? Oh, man. Let's not talk about that right now.
I'm a thrill seeker, you know what I'm saying? But every time I get a drop and I'm already at the bottom, I'm like, all right, let's let's go up to the next one. I want to take the next drop.
I remember that impromptu. You say, yo, let's go to Six Flags. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
What was it?
Kings of Mini. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Man, I lost my watch. My heart dropped, man. He was like, I'm going. He's like, hey, let's go on the roller coaster again. I was like, no, I'm gonna sit this one out, man. I thought I had a heart attack. Good times, man. Well, Norm, here's the deal, man. I appreciate you, man. You're like a brother to me, man. My condolences, to you and your family.
I appreciate that.
Whatever you need from me, man. And I know this is being recorded, but it's real. Whatever you need from me, I'm there for you, man.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
But a lot of this is real, man. Going through that arduous time for you and just talking about it and now dealing with the current thing that you're going through with your mom and with the family, it's real. And many people are going through some of those same things, those same challenges and stuff like that. So for the listeners out there, life is going to throw some punches at you when you least expect it or when you do expect it. And you got to prepare for it. Just like Hot Rod said, you got to find a positivity out of all of it because it's going to be a lot of negative things, but you got to find a positive side of and keep it going. And one powerful thing that he said, and I think we should all, latch on to is that, there are no wins and losses, only wins and lessons. That's powerful. You got to get that on a T-shirt, man.
I'm going to copyright that. Don't take it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to take it, man. You've been saying that for a while, but I think it's very fluid and dynamic, and it flows with even what I do here, man. It's all about lessons, man. It's not failures. You got to learn something from it. If you don't learn something from it, then it's a failure. Well, look, I'm not going to keep you. You're busy, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show. Do you have any handles for like people to reach you if they're trying to, number one, buy a home or just trying to, talk to you in general?
Yeah, I got a lot of no, I'm just kidding. I do a lot of. You can reach me very easily through Instagram, Facebook, Norm_Realtor for Instagram, Norm Rodriguez on Facebook. I have several links on there that take you to the to my brokerage page. I have a lot of good resources on there. You have any questions? A lot of times it's there. If not, I'll drop my phone number, 904-718-4799.
That's it.
Just text me. I'm pretty open, very reasonable. I try to, that's what I do. I like my job right now. I love it because you already know how I am. I like to help people out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The houses sell themselves, right?
Amen.
What I like to do is I like to educate. I like to be there and, kind of walk it through and treat you like I bought a couple homes when I was in the Navy. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I've learned a lot. And I think what I try to do is educate people so they don't make the same mistakes I did when I was, in that position. So,
Right.
yeah, that's what, I
Well,
love
look,
I love my job. I love what I do.
I got you, man. Start selling homes. Went through Grit Beyond Measure. Start selling them houses right now.
Yeah, you need to move down to Jacksonville.
Let's get it, man. I got to convince the old lady, man. Let's go, man. All right, Hot Rod. Hey, we're going to conclude this, man. I thank everybody for listening to Grit Beyond Measure. I'm out, and what I'll do is I'll leave those handles for Hot Rod within the description across my social sites. So, plug in, tune in, let's get it. And as we always say, man, adapt, survive, and thrive. We out.
All right.